I just want to welcome everyone again to the closing plenary here at AR. My name is Colleen Holland. I'm the publisher and co-founder of VegNews magazine. And I've been attending this conference since 2000, and I can say that it's never been better. In fact, it's the largest conference they've ever had, and it feels so energizing. It feels so great, and I've really been happy to be a part of it. The hope, the optimism, the speakers, the awards, the remembrances, it's really been an incredible weekend on every level, and I'm thrilled to be here with all of you tonight. After attending lectures for the past 3 days, meeting like-minded activists, and feeling the energy of the movement in one central place, I hope you're feeling inspired. Inspired to take your advocacy to the next level, whether it's by starting an organization, leafletting on the weekend, becoming more active online, donating money to your favorite group, or baking desserts for your office. This conference is all about igniting or reigniting your passion for the welfare of animals, as it's up to us to speak out on their behalf and against injustice. For the 9.1 billion animals killed in this country for food every year, no action is too small. As you sit here tonight, feel empowered by all that you've learned this weekend and think about how you can best make a difference in the coming days, months, and years. What is your gift? And how can you parlay that into change for the sentient beings who so desperately need our help? I want to acknowledge the role this conference has played in my own activism and career. 15 years ago, we debuted the first issue of VegNews at AR2015. It was literally day one of our company, and we had no idea what the reception would be like to our little publication. So you can imagine how elated we were when attendees of this very conference purchased subscriptions in droves, even though they had never heard of VegNews. Without the support of the vegan community and this incredibly inspiring and vital gathering of like-minded people, there would be no VegNews or countless other animal rights organizations that also got their start at this very conference. So as we close out AR 2015, there is a monumental shift occurring throughout the country. People are finally waking up and becoming more conscious of their food choices. They are questioning where their food comes from, and they want to either cure or prevent degenerative diseases like cancer, diabetes, and heart disease that have become so rampant. They may have heard somewhere that eating meat causes more damage to the planet than automobiles, and that doesn't sit well with them. And with the veil finally being lifted on what really goes on inside a factory farm, people can no longer live in denial of the animal abuse taking place every single day to satisfy our desire for meat. I stand here tonight with great hope. This movement has laid the foundation for spectacular cultural change in the way we view animals, and I witness this every day. I want to take a few moments to give you a tour of this remarkable evolution. As I promise you, a shift toward a more compassionate world is happening right this very moment. I've pulled together 10 media headlines to demonstrate just how far we've come, but know that I could show you thousands. It's my job to keep my finger on the pulse of everything happening in the world of veganism, and I've never been more hopeful. So let's get started. All right, headline number 1, 7-Eleven now exclusively using vegan mayonnaise. I still can't wrap my head that this has happened. And there may be no better example of veganism infiltrating the mainstream than 7-Eleven's recent switch to plant-based just mayo on all of its sandwiches. With 8,000 stores in the US alone, 7-Eleven is the largest convenience store in the world, so this change will be amplified many times over. McDonald's to close 700 worldwide locations. For the first time in half a century, the world's largest hamburger fast food chain is closing more restaurants than it's opening. This is truly a sign of the times, as companies like McDonald's need to step up with healthier plant-based options or be left in the dust, which is what's happening with them. Alrighty. Ben & Jerry's announces vegan ice cream. In 2016, iconic ice cream brand Ben & Jerry's will roll out vegan flavors in response to a grassroots campaign by animal activists, the very people in this room. I don't know if it will be Cherry Garcia almond or cookie dough coconut, but this marks a breakthrough in mainstream companies responding to demand for dairy-free products. You may have heard of this one. Ringling Brothers to eliminate elephants from the circus. In April, Ringling Brothers announced that elephants will no longer be a part of its circus. Citing increased public concern over the treatment of animals, more than 100 US cities have already passed ordinances restricting the use of elephants in entertainment. That's a long time coming. All right. Subway expands vegan sandwiches to 1,000 locations. Another victory that we can connect to the animal activists at this conference. The world's largest restaurant chain now offers 2 dedicated vegan submarine sandwiches, the Black Bean and Malibu Garden. Joining other chains like Chipotle and White Castle and adding more meat-free items to the menu, it's just a matter of time before Subway's vegan subs will be available at every location. And I just want to think about the magnitude of this one. Indian state bans consumption of beef. It's amazing. In landmark legislation earlier this year, the slaughter, sale, consumption, and possession of beef has been banned in India's second largest state, which, by the way, has a population of 112 million people. In response to the ban, the state's president said, quote, "Our dream of a ban on cow slaughter becomes a reality now." Sales of vegan meats on the rise. The plant-based meat market has never been hotter, and it's showing no signs of slowing down. Since 2010, industry sales are up 8%, and the market is now valued at $553 million. According to vegan company Beyond Meat, they are doubling their business annually and count such people as Bill Gates, Biz Stone, and Evan Williams as investors. Another headline you may have heard about or tried firsthand, IKEA to introduce vegan Swedish meatballs. So in April, IKEA introduced a vegan version of their signature Swedish meatballs in stores across the United States. According to a company spokesperson, IKEA wants to be a modern, forward-thinking company, and they want to do the same with their food, and that means vegan. And then just this week, if you happen to catch this story, a company called Google attempts to buy vegan food company for $300 million. So I don't know what's a bigger story, that Google tried to acquire plant-based meat and cheese company Impossible Foods, or that Impossible Foods turned down Google's offer. Either way, the vegan company walked away from the $300 million deal because they know the potential of their business, and not even a behemoth like Google could buy their way in. So finally, I want to share one more example of just how far this movement and our message has come. Earlier, I mentioned that we launched VegNews here in the year 2000, 15 years ago. And I want to show you what our first issue looks like. And this takes a lot for me to do because it's like looking at a bad yearbook photo. And at the time, I thought it was the greatest thing ever. I designed that logo. I just thought it was like award-winning, and I think the earth is pixelated. I mean, it's horrendous. VegNews has grown with the market, has grown with this conference, has grown with the movement, and 2 days ago, we went to press with issue number 97. And I think it symbolizes where this movement is and where veganism is today. So I wanted to give you a sneak preview of that cover, which is this. It's our food issue. So it's all food, and I don't know where those ice cream sandwiches were, but they weren't happening in the year 2000. They're only happening now, and so anyways, another symbol of how far we've come. So ladies and gentlemen, what we have is a little vegan revolution, and these 10 stories barely scratch the surface of the major shift occurring as we sit here tonight. As I said earlier, could have pulled together thousands of headlines that show just how far we've come.